Welcome to yourbrilliance.com. I'm your host, Amy Waterman, and today our topic is feminine magic. It's a gift you have by virtue of being a woman. You are born with it, and nothing can ever take it away. Your feminine magic is a magnetic force that draws men to you. Learn to use it wisely, and you can attract any man around your little finger. So to talk to us about how to use our feminine magic, we've invited expert Luba Evans onto the show. Luba is a Harvard speaker, a love and success coach, and the creator of the online course, The Law of Devotion. Drawing on her studies of yoga, Ayurveda, Tantra, Reiki, meditation, and massage, she helps women awaken their feminine power. Welcome, Luba.
Hi, Amy. It is very exciting to be here with you.
Thank you. I'm so glad you could come. So let's talk about femininity. Now, this isn't about lists of do's and don'ts, things we should say, things we shouldn't do. This is about awakening our power. So what is this feminine power?
Now, this is a great question. I think that women acquired a lot of power in the last century. We came a very long way. Many women are in leadership positions. Many women are making as much money as men, and some more, and making a lot of decisions. But it seems like we paid a bit of a price for that, because we seem to have lost a bit of vulnerability and softness and connection to the wild and primordial magic that women had throughout centuries. And no wonder that we kind of lost it, is because our parents and grandparents didn't really fully pass it on to us. And in fact, what's happening is that in most families, we see that our mothers and our grandmothers did not really have very happy personal lives. And so that trauma with the masculine has been going on for so many years. And right now, it feels like we became so strong as women that we can actually afford, on top of that strength, to also relax into our femininity. And this is, I think, where we're at.
I really appreciate that balance, because I think one of the reasons we've attained so much power is that we have thought that we have to act like men to become CEOs, to become entrepreneurs, because in the Western world, power is a very masculine thing. And you're right, we have so many strong women who say, men aren't interested in powerful women because my power turns them off.
Yeah.
So femininity is the antidote to balancing power with attractiveness. So how can we find feminine power as opposed to masculine power?
Yeah, exactly. Very often when we wear our power on our sleeve, especially that masculine power, it does scare men. And in fact, some of us are also emasculating men quite a bit, telling them exactly what to do, like being really controlling, giving derogatory remarks like, oh yeah, well, of course it's a man, or like all men are like this, and things like that. And at the end of the day, that power is just a defense reaction in a sense. Like real power, real feminine power, is to be able to twist left and right and be masculine if necessary and be feminine if necessary. And in fact, to carry that polarity inside of yourself, that makes us magnetic. That polarity is the next step, it's the next level. Like, for example, any artist, when they do an improvisation, it's a structured improvisation. There is a structure to it, and it's masculine. And then there is a flow to it, and that's feminine. So in each one of us, we can have the structure. Like, let's say, this is my calendar, this is my to-do list. By the way, mine I call to playlist, but anyway. This is my inner man, who is fully powerful and fully visionary, and he's protecting my inner woman. But that allows my inner woman to be full-on woman, to be in surrender, to be vulnerable, to be soft and playful and wild, and to have fun and to be pleasured And so that is the real power, that power of polarity.
One of the things that I often recommend is that when women get home from work, they have a bit of downtime to remember what it's like to be a woman. They change clothes, or they take a bath, or they listen to some music, or they just shake it all out. Because that's the feminine energy that sometimes when we're at work, we cannot show that feminine energy because femininity is not always accepted in a professional setting because men find it inappropriate. So when we come home and we bring that take charge woman to our house, our man is there and he's like, who's this other guy? I'm not attracted to him. So how can we make that transition, whether we're going on a date or coming home to our partner, to the softness and the playfulness and the vulnerability?
Yeah, that's a wonderful question. So for me, there were certain practices that always worked. And by the way, the course Law of Devotion has a lot of those practices and meditations that allow women to come very deeply into their femininity, into their rose, into their sacredness, and to really just relax and to surrender to their own feelings, to the true feelings, to the flow. And so when we are able to do that, masculine responds immediately, just like this. And I've tested it so many times. When we're able to come out reminding them of the greatness of life, as opposed to being locked in some neurotic, loop of what needs to happen, what needs to be done, how else we're gonna support ourselves, how else do we have to protect ourselves to survive, But when we come out as this, I would say almost like priestesses, channels of divine, reminding of the gift of life, reminding them of their mission in life, reminding ourselves of our great power as healing women. That's when the magic really happens. And some of the things which help us to be women is our creative flow. And I'm a big advocate of like the fact that every woman should have her own time, her own space, her own me time, and definitely some kind of a channel to express her soul. When we lose connection to our soul, everything is lost. Like nothing can be even enjoyed. So it's a woman loves to be in her soul, dancing, singing, writing poetry, drawing, right? Decorating her house in her own particular signature feminine way, not in the way like neighbors do it, not in the way IKEA showed it, but really finding her own signature style. And this is something that can definitely help us be creatrixes, be women, as who we really are.
One of the things that I really am struck with is the difference between what you're describing and what Western culture tells us is feminine, which is stuff like liking pink and wearing lots of makeup and letting a man open the door for you. This is a radically different view of femininity. Where did you learn this?
Well, first of all, as you know, I come from Russia, and that is a place of feminine magic. It's not by chance, that Russian brides are so incredibly popular all over the world. It's because a Russian woman, even many of them, even if she's in military, she's gonna come out in lipstick. Like Russian women carry that majestic femininity within their power. In fact, they know that their feminine is their power. They don't have to prove themselves to men that they're better than men. They already know they're better than them.
Wow.
So they're very sought for, and I've definitely learned a lot of that as I was living in Russia. Number two, I am not as beautiful conventionally as Russian women are. And so I had to really compete to get attention from men. And I had to kind of reverse engineer everything and to learn what it means to be feminine, what it means to be an attractive woman, what it means to own your feminine confidence. And so that's why I can teach it, And the third thing is that I went all over the world studying with different divine feminine and Tantra teachers who really are experts on how to awaken your full psychosomatic, spiritual, sexual power, how to really come in fully, how to not be afraid of your depth, how to be able to express yourself with freedom, how to speak your truth, and at the same time, how to be vulnerable and feminine. And one very important thing is the ability to ask for things and to receive. Unless we learn that, there is no space for a man, or for a good man, for a high quality man, to really serve us, or to deliver to us. Okay, so when we are coming out as all, I have everything I need, I'm overflowing, I'm complete, you know, there is no space for a man to apply himself. When we come out, like, and when we say, okay, well, let me see how I can fit you into my schedule 3 weeks from now, from 5:30 to 5:45, you know, he has no space to apply himself. When we are all, you know, simply everything omnipotent, and we can fix our car ourselves and do everything by ourselves, again, the man thinks, all right, well, she's got it going on. There's nothing else I can do. And also on top of it, she knows everything better, what should be. So I'm not even going to go in that direction, right? So ability to create space, ability to ask for help, again, ability to receive help. And imagine, this is the last, you know, from the advice that I want to give on this subject. Let's say you have a gift for someone and you give that gift to a person, and imagine that person says, oh, you know, oh, come on, it's not for me, I don't really need gifts, so I don't deserve this gift. So that's one situation. Another situation, you bring a gift and the person says, oh my God, thank you so much, I'm so happy, this is such a great gift. So who are you going to give a gift to second time? Of course, you're going to give it to the one who is grateful, who can receive. Same thing with feminine and masculine. So if you know how to receive, if you know how to make, let's say, the masculine feel great about themselves, then it's a huge, it's a fantastic quality that is going to help you attract those kind of men and those kind of relationships. Being in the feminine is definitely the key right now for successful love life.
What I'm struck with is how difficult it is for us to receive, though, because there's a lot of complications with receiving. When you go out on a date and he offers to pay, do you say yes? Because if you say yes, will he think that then you owe him something? And if you say, oh, I'd love you to pay, does he think that you're using him? So it's lovely to think that we could naturally open ourselves up to be receptive. But I think as women, we have real issues with the feeling that when we ask for things, we're coming across as needy instead of open.
Yeah, exactly. That's a wonderful question. And you know, that subject alone, how do you come out in your vulnerability as opposed to your neediness, right? And I think that, first of all, it's the frequency of the requests, right? So if you're constantly just asking and you're complaining, that's neediness, you know. But if in general you're together, you have your stuff together, and then all of a sudden, like an icing on the cake, there is one vulnerability where you really need help, and you really just need help from him. That's an incredible gift for a man. People love to give them that chance. They love it.
So I can imagine a woman listening to this and thinking, but this is sort of different from what I've always heard, because we hear that men want self-contained women that are impressive, that they've got it all together and they've got a busy calendar, and that they are so much in demand that agreeing to a date is like, you know, dribbling crumbs to your fans. Okay, I'll go out with you. So how can we find this feminine space when we have been taught that the way to impress men is to be better than a man?
Yeah. It is also definitely true that full package and this in-demand, woman on demand is definitely very attractive. But what should be happening is that it should be coming out from deep feminine confidence and not from some ideas about how we should be or who we should be competing with. And deep feminine confidence, one of the things which is very important is knowing yourself, your body, and your ability to have joy, pleasure, and great time. And so basically, when you know yourself and you have that in interaction with men, number one, you're going to be attracted to the right people who are going to make you feel great. You're going to attract the right people who want to serve you and who want to make you feel great. And number three, you're really actually going to enjoy it. So in this situation, to answer your question, like the question about my schedule, for example, like as a woman who is running 3 businesses right now, you know, and I'm a very, very busy woman. But the truth of the matter is, if I know that I'm going to have a great time, like really with somebody, or I'm going to have fun, I can make an exception. You know, I'm not a robot. I'm not like this. That kind of a, you know, and my exception is super valuable. And also, even though I can do anything and everything and run, you know, a whole operation of construction of meditation retreat with a bunch of different teams of workers, but hey, I still would like some guy to carry my heavy bag. Let them have it, you know, and I'm going to enjoy it too. So if I'm true, you know, if I'm true to my real pleasure and joy, if I'm really truthful with myself, that's the most attractive. It's not about what we think we should be, you know? And if a guy wants to pay for dinner, awesome. You kidding? Like in Russia, no woman would ever go out with a guy who is not paying for dinner. You know why? Because you are the gift. You're the prize. You're a woman. You are an object which is created for, you know, admiration, and you are the most beautiful creation of nature. The guy had a pleasure to look at you for an hour. Of course, he has to pay.
So I want to talk about a woman who doesn't necessarily have that deep feminine confidence because she reads the women's magazines and she looks at the women pictured in there. And she reads the dating advice sites and she realizes that she doesn't do all these different things. And when she looks at this woman she thinks she's supposed to be, she thinks, why would he go out with me? How does she get that deep confidence?
Yeah, definitely. I think that one of the most important, how would I say, hooks that the feminine is hanging on right now in terms of this mass magazine marketing is the weight. And what's happening with the weight? There's a huge industry, right, that's making tons of money on telling people how to, at first, how to sell them food and make them want to eat it. And then, you know, create food which is not very good for us, and then make money on the desire to lose weight. Right? So there's the whole circle, the whole cycle. So I would like to offer everyone to get unhooked because somebody else is taking advantage of us while we are hooked. And so all those ideas that the woman has to be super thin, anorexic, you know, look like a guy, look like some kind of unisex, all those ideas, you know, are created by men who are afraid of the real power of the woman, the earthy power of the woman. A woman in her comfort zone after 35 years old naturally gets a little bit plump. This protection on her belly, on her womb, is absolutely natural, and it's awesome. And this is what's needed for her to come into her like later years of menopause in a safe and nice way. Because when a woman starts really pressuring herself, being very neurotic about whether she looks like this magazine cover or not, comparing herself to others, that is what brings us down very, very deeply. The truth is, there are so many different beauty standards and ethos. Look at Oprah. Look at Oprah, right? She's the most popular woman in the world. And she's not size 8 even, you know, but her charisma, her spirit, her being in the world is what makes everyone's hair stand up. You know, you feel it in your heart. So the same thing, if you are a woman with your own signature style, your own understanding of beauty, and by the way, like there are different artists, for example, in the world who create different canvases. So there could be Madonna Botticelli, who is plump and who is surrounded by the same kind of landscape and environment. And you know, she looks amazing on that landscape. You know, maybe she won't look that great on the landscape of, I don't know, The Simpsons cartoon. Maybe she would look weird and somebody else would look great there. But the idea is that you and your world and your environment represent a certain piece of art which is created by yourself. And it's unique. And if it's genuine and if there is charisma and spirit in it, that's it. That's what makes you irresistible, right? Becoming like all those chicks, all those girls who are, you know, with their suffering in their eyes, all like who can't eat another, I don't know, you know, extra croissant or something. Becoming that only makes us angry. You know, it makes us angry. It makes us demand things from the world for our martyrdom, for our sacrifice, right? So in a certain sense, we have to win this war. We have to win this. We have to come into the world in full feminine, at the office, lead in a feminine way, you know, which means, yes, we're strong, and yes, we have our brain together, and we have our masculine together, but we also are women, which means we have periods, we're connected to creation, we give birth, you know, we are connected to the real nature, we're not robots. And in this robotic, you know, revolution, which is happening, and it's going to be happening more and more. People are already having sex, you know, with robots in Japan. You know, we have to bring in this feminine magic. We have to bring in the goddess into everything that we do, and they're gonna like it. They're gonna love it, because at the end of the day, all these guys in Silicon Valley who are making millions and millions of dollars, you know what they want at the end of the day? At the end of the day, they want something organic. They want, you know, to lay down with a beautiful woman who is soft, who is connected to nature, you know, who reminds them of their childhood and of their, you know, idea of them being a hero, who inspires them to be a hero, who reminds them of what's the most important in existence, in life, you know, and we're going to win.
That is so inspiring. I love the idea that you are a unique piece of art and you put yourself in the landscape that reflects you beautifully. I love that. So you've actually created a course that talks about some of the ideas, and it's called The Law of Devotion. Can you tell us a little bit more? Because I think it's a video course, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, partially it's video. It has everything. It has audio, it has meditations, it has PDFs, 5 of them. Very extensive ones. So you can read it, you can watch it, you can listen to it. There are many, many ways to consume that information. And so that course really talks about what's the most important for a man to be devoted to a woman, not for a day, you know, not for a month, his whole lifetime. How to become that kind of woman that is just no question about it that he needs to see you again. No question about it, you know, that you're the one he wants to spend his life with you, and how to appear in a man's life as that dream, you know. And by first, of course, being your own dream, you know.
So for those of you listening, if you want to find out more about Luba's course, just go to yourbrilliance.org/devotion. That's yourbrilliance.org/devotion. Now we're coming to an end. So Luba, I want to thank you so much for coming on to the show. And I wanted to ask you if there's one final message that you'd like to share with our listeners.
Yeah, definitely. There is something that I want to share, which you can use today and tomorrow and every day. And it's a short, little, very enjoyable practice, which I call woman in the mirror. And so when you look at yourself in the mirror every day, when you're brushing your teeth, for example, so some of us look in the mirror in a way like, did I just get this pimple? Or what's wrong with this face? Oh, I always hated that nose. Oh, like half of my, face is really like different than the other half or whatever. So instead of all that, as you look at yourself in the mirror, next time, look deeply into your eyes, deeply, deeply, deeply. And I'll give you a secret. I'll reveal the secret for you. The deeper you look, the deeper you're going to remember yourself, your soul, your childhood, your original dream, and our everyone's dream, which is really just love. And you're going to remember that. You're going to connect to your source, connect to your feminine magic. And at that moment, when that happens for you, just wink at yourself in the mirror and go out there with that wink. And when you see a woman out there who reminds you of that, who feels like she's got it too, and she's connected to her memory and her source and her dream, wink at her as well, and just watch her wink back at you. This is the sisterhood that we already have. So I just invite you to join forces.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Luba, for coming. And I'm Amy Waterman for yourbrilliance.com, and we hope to see you again soon. Until then, let your brilliance shine.